Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Today is our 20th CME on this Rosidea subclass. And so far, we have done quite well. We have gone systematically over everything. And we have systematically tried to understand. So probably it is a bit too much that we have done. But that cannot be helped if we want to finish the Rosidea. And everybody can hear. There was some audio problem. So today we are going to, we are on UFIR BCA, if you know that, and we are going to finish that group because it was a small group, but still it is too much. How many slides, how much I have worked. There's some, so we are going to try and see how much we can finish. And I want to say that we will, next time, next Thursday, let us, because by now we'd have today finished some 68 remedies. So I think we should, do one revision so that we all get a little bit more refreshed. So today's our Euphorbials. We have done Roselles. All these fall into the Rosidea family. Roselles 15, metals 14, Fadils 18 remedies, Malfingales 12, and today we will finish Euphorbias 9. So totally 68 remedies, which is huge. And we've not stinted on anything. We have taken great detail in many remedies. And but I'm sure it is difficult to remember all this. So coming to Euphorbials, or Euphorbiaceae as we call it. So you know that there are very few small groups. We've already done Acalifa, we've already done Crotonte, we've done Euphorium, and we've done Plura. Today we are going to do the remaining. We are going to do Mercurius perennius, we are going to Mancinella, we are going to do Ricinus, and we are going to do Stilinga, and we are going to do Jatropha. So we have to see that there are some amazing remedies just for diarrhea. We cannot imagine that one group with only 10, 12 remedies has 3 just for severe diarrhea. Proton, Jatropha, and Ricinus, which we don't know so well. So I wanted to, see if we can learn differentiation of these. So just I want to revise a bit. So Euphorbiaceae, we know, according to Dr. Shankaran, the sensation is tied, untied, bound, unbound, and passive reaction is tied, can't do anything. Active reaction is to break completely free, and compensation is a person who's free, not tied, not bound. Okay, so and the remedies, according to the miasms, are acute miasm is protontic, which we've already done. Typhoid, Mancinella, we had a beautiful case by Dr. Anita. We have malaria miasm, which is Mercurius perennius. We don't have these 2 miasms, or we don't know at least the other remedy belong where. We have tubercular acalphia. We have cancer miasm, which is Euphorbian. And we have leprous miasm, which is Ura, and we have syphilis miasm, which is Stilinga. So we are going to do some of these remedies, and they are actually amazing, but we have to understand them a little bit. So just this is just about Euphorbiaceae. I put down 7, 8 lines here. So I hope you can see it. I just wanted to do it quickly. I didn't make a proper slide. So it is the early stage of development. We know it is in the anal state, so it's not about control and all that. And it's there because it's still in early stage of development. It is converting will to action. And therefore, there'd be so many symptoms like industrious and Mancinella, but always late in Mercurius. Laziness in Croton, Hura, and Merc. Then we know all about the masculine force, the father's strictness, the rigidity, the masculine. And here the most important is good versus bad, bad versus evil, angel versus devil. And here the real devil thing comes, as we see in Mancinella. Emotions are suppressed and they are kept hid and bound, and insanity or obsessive compulsive behavior. Then you have dementophobia, which really means fear. Lot of the remedies will have fear of insanity. So what is it perceived as? It is perceived that we are here, even clothes are our outside, and it's, the other is perceived as piercing and penetrating. The response by the body, by that person, euphorbia, violent irritation of skin, mucous membrane, GI tract. And so then we can have burning pain. We'll see. We'll have to know what are the keynotes of each thing. Because either they withdraw, like in Hura, or become fearful and suspicious of other people, like Croton, with great sadness. And then the main thing is breaking these boundaries, so that with skin pathology, skin cancer, and they all want to develop a very thick skin, which is Crotalus, Crotontic and Euphobium. We know Euphobium is almost as specific for cancer. This we've already done. And Croton, what is the main thing? We already know Croton, some bursts like that with one shot. And it has a little bit of gurgling, and then it bursts out in diarrhea. And the important other thing, very keynote of that, is fear of diarrhea, of Croton. Okay. Okay. So now that was a revision of a quick 7 minutes. Now we'll do our remedies. Okay. If there's anything, I know I'm going a little fast because I told you there are 133 slides. And we were a little concerned, but I didn't want to keep just one remedy balanced. So that is why I have done this. And I've gone into some details of some remedy which we don't know too well. So Jatropha is the purging nut. Okay, we knew Crotontic was the Jamal Gota, right? So this is the purging nut. So it is poisonous due to hydrosanic acid content and because of curacin. So the seeds which are rich in oil can be processed as a bio fuel, So it's a biodiesel and a future source of cheap energy. So because the plant can grow in dry, arid soil, so it is very important soil, important plant. So it's prepared from a shrub, which is mostly found in West Indies and in South America. These are the seeds, and this is the oil. These are the fruits. The tincture is prepared from coarsely powdered seed and saturating the same with alcohol. And who introduced it into our materia medica? Our own heroin. So what happens mostly in Jatropha is that it is impairment of the mucous membrane, like we see in all the other families. And there's burning pain in the digestive tract. Now, if this is little different. And the dryness of the mouth is not so much because it can also have salivation. So there will be another remedy which has tremendous dryness. So we will have to learn this. So the reaction to any breaching of one's orders is spasmodic. So vomiting and drinking even water or milk. So they have this great fear, hydrophobia, fear of drinking even water or any liquid. And it is just vomited because even food is alien to the body. It is as if it is penetrating. Now, this is something we never looked at when we use Jatropha or we use Croton in all our years of practice, right? So here, the funny thing we always say about Croton, like a tap, like a tap. But here, it sounds like water is running. And it's a very peculiar book. Supposing you took a pot and you filled it in the river or even in a tub. When it filled, it would move, book. So that is the sound, book. You have to remember this sound for Jatropha, okay? So fear of liquids and fear of the sound. So mainly it is cholera-like symptoms. And in the first stage of cholera, Jatropha is very important. We have so many other remedies for cholera. but this will differentiate Jatropha from Proton. So abdomen is distended tympanic and the associated is leg muscle. There are spasms and pain in the testicles. And then it is also followed if measles, if diarrhea occurs, if measles is suppressed or skin eruptions are suppressed. Emotionally, they're usually serious, but when they fall sick, like cholera, remember, Jatropha collapses. Strong anxiety, Proton will have weakness, but Jatropha will have collapse. So strong anxiety leading to confusion and loss of consciousness. So children with difficult diarrhea become apathetic, cold, lacking active, and lose weight very fast. Everybody in diarrhea, you say, will lose weight, but they lose very fast, become cold, become dull, and very difficult diarrhea. In the last stages, the intense fears may prevail. We're talking about cholera ka last stage, okay? I'll be doing one detailed case because Jatropha to understand. Fearing penetration, they may experience anxieties even regarding sex. In extreme cases, there's raging insanity, fury with a spasmodic hydrophobia, like a picture of rabies. It's chief for choleric diarrhea and cholera. Marked and peculiar, already I've told you, gurgling. Now it's loud, boop, 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 boop. So sudden exposure, sudden, that was a tap. This is sudden, abundant evacuation, large number of lumbricae and ascarids. So there are kind of particles also. Sometimes they say like egg. They come out in a gushing torrent. And it is quite sudden. Proton also, you will say it is sudden. This is also sudden. That is like one tap. This is like one torrent. The vomiting is also very thick, albuminous, glary. Glary means there are some particles in it. Yes. The thirst is unquenchable. The anxiety and anguish is very marked. Indifference, frustration, cramps, I told you, in the legs, and makes it very good remedy for the first stage of. And it needs to be used and repeated often, and then it will avert the fatal end. We'll see that in a case. So if you have to differentiate puja, which also has gurgling, and Jatropha also has gurgling, but Jatropha has gurgling in the abdomen and boop, 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 boop. And in the puja, it is at the anus during expulsion of the stool. So we have differentiated from Proton puja from Jatropha. So it is very, very lot of collapse, Herring said, with cramps in the calf, the cholera. I will be repeating and repeating so that it stays in your head, okay? So apathy, indifference to pain, anxiety and anguish, anxiety with burning in the stomach and coldness of the body, restlessness at night because there's a lot of rush of thought and fears and panic. And this is very peculiar. I never understood it, but I'm telling you, during painful diarrhea, there's an ecstasy as if an ideal had appeared to be a poetic painter, or like that which sometimes comes to a dying person with little inclination for anything else. Some ecstasy kind comes. Maybe he's happy to go away after having suffered, but this is one of the symptoms. Okay, so that was Jatropha. Now another remedy. I hope the other Dr. Rama is here. She wanted us specially to do Ricinus. Now Ricinus communis is the castor bean. Just see how they look. They look like ticks. So it's also called the tick. So castor bean, so now you have the third remedy for diarrhea. Yeah. So it is a hardy plant, reddish bush that can grow again in dryness and arid soil. And so there are many plant varieties have been cultivated. It is about not very tall, 8 to 10 feet. And the fruit, this is how they pollinate, explodes when it is mature, and it spreads the seeds all around. And the seeds look like big ticks, and therefore the Latin name. Okay. So now here you will see that the mind is completely different. So here, there was mind, there was apathy, there was apathy, there was indifference, or there was fear. But here is another story, the biblical story of Jonah, one of those disciples. So this will give you the mind symptoms and its connection to column 5, which is suppressed emotions. I'm sorry, all of you will have to be really concentrating, okay? You can't be doing 10 other things if you want to understand this. So Jonah was stoned because God told him, go and preach. But his personal desire was to run away and not preach. So he was always torn between these two things. So he sat under the castor oil tree for shade, and that enhanced his spirit. Buddha sat under the other nirvana tree. He sat under the castor oil tree. So this is the split of the soul. The emotional side wants to flee. Okay. The mind wants to take, God demand to take action. So we'll find this always, that running away when presented with the demand to take action. In anything in life, when he has to take action, the resonance will run away. So any confrontation, any hardship, any suffering leads to withdrawal, indifference, of painful spasmodic reaction. You find this also in the rubrics. I always like to see the rubrics because whether we can really reach that remedy or not, okay? So anguish, because he doesn't know whether to do this or to stay or listen to God's command. So stomach complaints and anguish. Vertigo also aggravates. Excitement, ailments. And indifference, apathy. All these contain. Now you see here resonance. It is here right way down because it is got low marks, only 5 marks, 1 mark each. Whereas pulsatilla for the same thing has 5 marks. So you may give pulsatilla, but the remedy won't work. Just imagine resonance covering all of this. Anguish, vertigo, excitable indifference. So now the physical study of resonance, okay? So it is the castor oil. So it is the series of perennial flowering plant in the spurge family. The seeds are extracted to obtain that castor oil. And castor oil was used a lot in India, Africa, these kind of countries. Grandmothers used to apply oil, right? It has long been used for treating vomiting and digestive complaint. This is the chemical formula. There's no clear proving. It has all come from castor oil poisoning and such. Okay. So the mucous membranes of the digestive. Overreaction to external stimuli, everything is penetrating, everything is the other. It is not us. And so it results like in all the others we saw, diarrhea, dysentery, collapse. Not much vomit. We'll have to see what is the difference in the, right? Anorexia with great thirst and burning sensation. So you had gurgling in this proton. You had book in Chatropa. Now we have burn. Here, the voice gets affected. What did we see in Chatropa? You had leg muscle cramps, okay? Even testes pain. Here, the voice becomes hoarse, maybe because of the frequent vomiting. So more than the diarrhea, here there is vomiting. So diarrhea, acute and chronic, or dysentery. And we all know we've been using castor oil a lot for constipation, impaction of feces. So it is used for constipation in the common use. So this diarrhea that we're talking about in improperly fed children begins with sickness, frequent griping pain, greenish yellow to dark green, become liquid and slimy with mucus or blood. So far we didn't see this. So now this is a little bit different. We stool, lot of pain and tenesmus. Again, tenesmus we didn't see in the earlier stages. And the anus is inflamed, the belly is tumid. The child becomes more and more feverish and somnolent, again, dull and drowsy, very sick. The most important thing about this remedy is that in post-mortem, whenever they examined it, the intestinal mucosa was shredded. That means it is so very toxic. So there was black discoloration, necrosis of inner part, and spasms and convulsion and tics of his, noises in the ear, and the pain is piercing, electric-like. So electric current-like in the oxygen. So this will be your differentiator. We want to do a little bit of each of the parts. Menses is too early, leukorrhea, breast, swelling of the axillary glands and pains running down the arm, thin discharge from the breast.
Previous slide, please.
So black discoloration, necrosis of the inner part, spasms and convulsion, piercing pain like electric current, noises in the ear. Menses is too early, even too late. Leukorrhea, then thin discharge, and milk. This is a very important remedy for milk, so we have to differentiate from the other milk remedies. Milk is produced even in non-lactating women or in the lactating where there's cessation of milk. So it's an important remedy for lactating mothers who don't have enough milk. So what are our other remedies which we use very commonly? Anybody? Quickly.
Uretica urins.
Very good. So it is a great galactolol, increases milk in well-developed breasts, okay? It also acts on the uterus, bringing on menses when required. So we have to differentiate from lac defloratum and urtica urine. In urtica urine, it is due to atrophy of the mammary gland. Here, it is very well-developed mammary gland. And in lac defloratum, they are very small. And urtica urines is best when mothers with no milk, no apparent cause, not a small breast, not too big a breast. So that is the differentiation. So in ricinus, you have prurigo. What is prurigo? There's itching and nodules form on the wrist. Spasms and convulsions and tics of stomach, heart, and face, noises in the ears, tongue, tick. Now, Hale is we owe it to him. So there's made the first collection of the pathogenetic effects of ricinus and pointed out its analogy to cholera, and Salzer, who done a lot of work, famous Salzer, confirmed. So details of the poisoning effect, they follow just eating 3 seeds, and even 1 seed has caused violent effect. And now we are going to do after 20 seeds, of course, gastroenteritis and death. Okay, so now we are going to do a detailed case of a sergeant who ate 17 seeds, not 20, and so he didn't die, and also because he got a homeopathy. So the seeds were 2 years old, and he used it as a purgative. 4 hours later, he had several loose motions, cramps in the stomach, nausea and vomiting. Other symptoms already: pale face, cold sweat, features were already drawn, eyes were convulsed, turned up, conjunctiva injected, copious lacrimation, but his mind was quite clear. There was headache, vertigo, buzzing in the ears. We said noise in the ears. Sensation, as if this is important, bar were laid over his stomach. Bar. We have earlier seen, like we've seen in bambusa, some spine is like wood. So these are some important things. We saw cold towel, yeah, in one remedy. So like that, we have to remember these things. And there was profound anguish. Burning thirst, pyrosis, vomiting, fluid lightly covered with bile containing some glairy filaments. Okay, like I told you. Epigastrium, very sensitive. Pains radiate from the navel and hypochondrium. Felt a sensation of violent constriction. So now you have violence coming in here in this poisoning. I'm doing this in detail because you'll understand the whole process of how bad he was. Luckily, he got camphor and he was saved. So diarrhea becomes quite coliquative, means profuse, okay, cholera too. Complete anorrhea. You will stop. Voice was affected, profound adynia. He took 17 days to recover. And he was given camphor, so he recovered. But that was eating 17 nuts. Who eats 17 nuts? So the other materia medica, this I'm doing a little bit more because this is not a known remedy, ricinus. So you have convulsion, muscular contraction, painful cramps in truncating, anemia, present idaemia, and focus. He cannot go into open air after a dose of castor oil, as the brain seems as if it can be easily overpowered. He does not go in the open air, even that air is penetrating. Headache is severe, sudden pain, shocks come and go like electricity. So remember these few things: electricity, bar on the stomach, exhaustion, but intelligence is okay, and cannot go in the open. Eyes are convulsed and turn up, all that I told you. Tongue is coated white and dry and furred. Anorexia, thirst is very great and because the mouth is dry and burning. Nausea and vomiting is persistent. And these recti muscles can be seen contracting, contracting, bar on the stomach. Intestines violently drawn together. Violently, they are drawn together. You feel like. And the diarrhea is incessant with cramps and chilliness. And it is mixed with mucus, and there's complete confinement of bowels of 5 days, made him uncomfortable and caused headache. Pulse is very small, but not perceptible, normal in frequency. Prurigo, I told you already, on wrists and bends of knees. Gangrene may be there, which will get empty. Great desire for sleep, great weakness, fever, chilliness with the diarrhea, perspiring a lot, skin is moist and cool, forehead is cold sweat, skin pronounced jaundice, and saffron yellow. Can you remember this in ricinus? Okay. So Farrington has says castor oil, when abused, is antidoted by 2 remedies, Bryonia and Naxonic. Bryonia useful on account of specific relationship to ricinus, and Nux because to all drastic memories you have a general antidote. So giving his summary, Hale says castor oil, diarrhea of children, adults, yellow, semi-fluid, pepescent of a peculiar fetid odor with some grain. That is what Hale says. So dysentery in the first stage with frequent desire and effectual urging, or there can be hard small bowels. You can always have this side. Mostly we have to remember what is most common. So summer complaints of children, diarrhea from indigestion, eating, catching cold, What is important is the diarrhea won't stop. It will continue. It will go on. It is chronic, obstinate diarrhea, which resisted all other remedies. You gave a proton, you gave Japropa, you gave a Viratrum, it won't stop. You gave whatever else anybody else gave it didn't stop. So the diarrhea will not stop. So there are some other important things like it's an antiseptic, disinfectant, and chronic skin complaint like psoriasis. analgesic. Also, Viratram, you have to do a DD. We've done from Croton, we've done from Tuja, we've done from Jatropa. From Viratram, the stools here are like cholera, rice water stools, what they call of cholera. Viratrams are not. Okay, so we did ricinus, which which many of us have not used at all, but it is an important remedy. Cholera, we must remember it. We must not remember any other. So we'll go to the next remedy, which is Mercurialis perinus, which is called Merl for short, MER. It's a rare remedy. It's an important remedy. It is called dog's mercury, and it's mercury, so it is toxic. But it is very different from the mercury which is there in your metals, minerals, right? In your periodic table. So it is a woodland plant found in Europe, spreading by rhizomes through the soft woodland ground in all directions and blooming in early spring before the trees get covered with leaves. The plant, we've seen some plants which are both male and female, right? So here it is either male or female, and it is not found intermixed and growing in large patches. So when the male flower matures, it detaches itself forcefully from the plant and its stamen explodes. So explosion is another common thing of the euphorbiaceae. Whether it's in diarrhea, whether it's the plant, whether it's the male, which explodes into yellow cloud of pollen that envelops the plant. It is then wind pollen. Now this is very funny. Two things are very funny. I don't know about the first. It said the tincture of male flowers, if you take it, it increases the possibility of having a male child. So, or same vice versa, means female. So, depending on what you want. Okay, externally, it is used to remove warts. So far, we only use puja, no, as an external. So, externally to remove warts. And while I was doing this, all of us in the clinic thought that we should use it for one patient, which we've been treating forever. Her wart is just growing and growing. We're doing nothing for her. Everything else is fine, but not the wart. Okay. So as an antiseptic also it's used and for female. So externally for warts and if you want a male child. So now here, these are very different people. They are caring, sympathetic, conscientious people worried about the welfare of the world and animals. It's very opposed to Croton take. If you all remember Croton take, we said they are most selfish and only think of themselves. So you have in the same family Croton, which is so selfish, and you have Ricinus, which is so Merc, which is so caring, sympathetic, and conscious. One thinks about welfare of the world and animals. It allows strangers to penetrate. They repress their own anger and let others take control and invade. And later on, they have fear because they invaded of becoming insane. You have to differentiate it from the other caring remedies like carcinosin and phosphorus. We have caring, we have superstition, confusion, and confusion. So this is the mind. To the mouth, it has dryness of the mouth, diarrhea, burning pain in the stomach. We saw this is burning, not gurgling, not stitching, not electric, and jaw inflammation. Eye discharge, sticking the eyes. She can't open until she is, able to open. I don't know what this means. This is how it is written. Eyes can't open until she is unable to open. I presume it is able. Burning pain in the eyes and chest. Dropsy, rheumatism and dropsy. Disorders of gallbladder and liver. Dry mouth. So dog mercury, that is Mercurius perennis, is a common plant with poisoning properties. All of these have poisoning properties. Only when we are using potentides or when it is treated Ayurvedically with something or the other, it becomes better. And this was proved by Hesse, and it has extremely accurate properties. And many symptoms resemble the other mercury, the corrosive salts of mercury, like we saw the burning in the eye, the irritation of the eye, the ulcer, and so on, and the tinnitus. So compared to other euphorbians, they're always talking as if, they're talking about land or something. Other euphorbians, it dries up the mucous membrane, causing burning locally and a general drowsiness, while most euphorbians set up a violent irritation and diarrhea from the very first. So here in Mercurius, we are not talking about diarrhea. And also not on the skin as much as the others. The most characteristic is vertigo by going downstairs. I mean, how peculiar is that? Have you ever known anybody to have vertigo just while going downstairs? Maybe it's just going down the steps. Some borax would maybe going up.
Borax will have.
Yeah, borax. And so borax will have for down also. And borax will have for up also. The dryness of the mouth and throat is more remarkable than any other remedy. So here we have to remember the dryness. We had dryness in so many remedies, but nothing like this. Okay, some had wet and dry. Here it is very dry. Even sugar refuses to melt in the mouth. So mercurialis, which is called merle, it is so dry that sugar won't melt, and eating worsens the dryness. So they can't eat, they can't swallow. Be a lot of them. The breath from the mouth is hot and dries again the lips. So there's hot breath even in the nose, but there can be cold breath, we hope. Then it will extinguish fire in the mouth. Tension is a leading note of the remedy, running through the symptoms. Fatima, can you do me a favor? Call Expert Tech, I think he was calling. If he wants to come at later 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then he can. So you have tension. The pain is of a band across the forehead. We had bar, as if a bar is on the abdomen. So also dragging, and especially dragging down in the small of the back with rectal pain in the groin and thigh, as if a hernia might. A very remarkable action is that on the female generative organs, and puts Merle in the front rank of remedies for amenorrhea. So if you have people, somebody who's not got delayed period, and then you can use this to bring on the periods. Okay. Also for dysmenorrhea, very peculiarly with orgasm, with pains and swelling of the breast. The lotus signifies. So conscious of having a nose, she has two noses. Feels as if he has two noses. Too cute. Head is confused, as if inflated, as if intoxicated. So there's rolling, throbbing, trembling, orgasm, all in the veins. So touch is worse. Headache is worse indoors, better by cold. And sunlight worse eyes. We've seen this in other remedies, right? Yesterday we saw as if he's pierced by sunlight. He can't see it. So whirling vertigo, confused, inflated, scalp feels tense and numb, is moved with difficulty. So we can go to Konayam and other remedies of vertigo where also you don't like any movement, but it'll be completely different picture. Okay, this is anal state, Konayam is old age. So tension and heaviness of the head with sensation of heat. Aching in the forehead, better by cold and pressure. Numbness of occiput and vertex, as if after a blow on the head. Eyelids again, like the mouth, feel heavy and dry, difficult to move. Stick together, dilated pupils with great sensitiveness of eyes to light. So like as if there's a cloud or veil or cobweb before the eyes. Face, there is coldness, redness of the cheeks, redness of the lips. Lips are dry and parched with increased thirst. But they are so dry that you can feel as if, no thirst is helping, no water is helping. And you have to differentiate from Naknosheva, which has severe dryness where the tongue goes and sticks to the roof. But Naknosheva belongs to the first column. And where we saw that last time also, that it is, even though they are attacked by the other, but it is first and they are named. They stick with the abuser. And here they know they are being attacked and they need to fight it. Whether they fight or not is a difference. So much dry that you cannot even move the tongue. Burning. Tongue feels heavy, numb, insensible, can't taste. Burning blisters, we saw the picture also. Inside also of lips and cheeks. And painful spreading also. So apart from borax, we should think of this remedy if you get such severe ulcer. Chilly feeling or burning in the stomach, better by belching. Vomits food as soon as eaten because they think food is also alien and the other. Tumor is size of a hen's egg and worse pressure cannot bear close. Increased thirst with dry lips, those will come with everything. And rumbling, moving and workings in the abdomen, emission of much flatus. Diarrhea with constant colic, but here they are thin stools and nothing like the diarrhea of either of Croton or of Jatropha or of urine. Profuse soft stool followed by sunstroke. Dragging in the inguinal region, at times sticking pain, worse walking. Okay, no question. Female menses is shorter, abdominal cramp or too late. We said it can bring on your period. Yeah, so apart from pulsatillar, we have to think of this. Menses is profuse, there's violent orgasm of blood, great anxiety, so that she nearly fainted. And next day there was great swelling and painful breasts. And the third day there was headache and weakness and compelled to lie. So orgasm with dysmenorrhea, very difficult to imagine this, right? You have dysmenorrhea on one side, you have with pain and you have orgasm on the other side. Very funny. Okay. So breathing is stertorous, difficult, especially right-sided. Whirling, rushing, throbbing in heart, with trembling and orgasm. This orgasm is different in the veins. Flowing, rushing blood without heat. An abdominal aorta is felt distinctly beating here. Because the blood is mounted violently upward, pulse is accelerated. Palpitation with oppression, as if chest would be constricted after stooping. Limbs are tired and weary, weak, will fall to the left again without work. Dragging in the left thigh. So we must remember left side, like this. Fever, cold over the whole body, with hot flush in the face, must be warmly covered and then sleep and perspire. So cover it, will sleep, will perspire and the fever will. Goose flesh on the cold right arm, going to the whole body. And after midnight, offensive perspiration on both sides. On going to bed in the evening, there is chill during night and towards morning, the heat with intense thirst and perspiration right in the morning. It's something. So sleep and dreams are very important here. All these, if you can remember any of them, full of animals. And you have many kinds of dreams and many kinds of moods: morose, quarrelsome, fretful, ill-humored, difficulty in connection with senses, coma, fretfulness, and fear of insanity. Fear of insanity is very marked in many of the red movies. We saw in Protons. We saw even in Manson. We are seeing it here. Okay? Of losing his reason. Excited, lively also, want to joke and sing. In Croton, we saw dance. So in Croton, we saw would rather dance than go to work. Here we are saying sing or joke and not go to work. Though she was very much affected by the drug, she even laughed about her condition, especially the dizzy intoxication. Then it goes to despondency, sadness, weepy. So there'll be all kinds of confusing things. And work aversion to we've seen in all the remedies. Know where one verb, it did not. That is the rubric. No does not know where. It means we did not know where he is. And you can go to coma stupor or you can go to violence. Okay. So the dreams are of horses, about children, about snakes, wild boars with frequent wait. So a lot of animals, not one. Okay. We saw the picture earlier. Go back to that picture. Here we saw some lot of animals. So we saw then later that we have wild boars also, and we have snakes and horses. Why should horses be ugly? They are so beautiful, but we are ugly. So that was which remedy? Which remedy, people? People, which is the remedy we are doing? You say we are also confused.
Mercurius perennials.
We have one alert person, definitely. What about the others? Thanks, Raman. So that was Mercurius. Now we are at 4 o'clock. We have 2 remedies to go. So we have Stilinga, which is syphilitic miasm, and we have Mancinella, which actually has been done earlier. So I'll focus more on some more cases, because cases makes the thing become very more alive. So Stilinga sylvatica, it is called still. And it is Queen's delight. Why? I have no idea. So the miasm here is syphilis. The root is used to treat respiratory complaints. The bark is used to treat syphilis. And so this is a remedy for syphilis as a disease and AIDS. Proving was done by chewing the bark or drinking tincture from the bark. And here the boundaries is anything which isn't me is the other. So that has manifested in this remedy in a very destructive syphilitic way. So here we saw even in Ricinus that, shredded intestine, but here it is very destructive inflammation of the mucous membrane, any organ. Inflammation of the mucous membrane of urogenital, burning along the urethra. Inflammation of mucous membrane of throat and respiratory, like pharynx, larynx, tract. And in syphilitic patients or in AIDS, you have throat, which is inflamed. So very syphilitic remedy. Unbearable pains, nodes form, ulcers and destructive processes in the bone. So Stilinga can be used for those kind of pains, bone pains, which are come at night because it is syphilitic remedy. So like syphilinum, bone pains are at night or any pains are at night. Whereas you saw in euphorbium, which we did last time, this is specific for cancer and cancer. So here they are despairing, miserable, despondent, gone. Yakir says, in my personal opinion, it's a potential remedy for final stages of AIDS, because AIDS in its last stages looks like syphilis. So in the throat, you have spasmodic cough, painful lung, hoarseness, throat inflammation, burn, sensation of burn in the tongue, burning in the nose, diffuse salivation with bitter taste, and teeth falling out. We have a rubric in the repertory. Dreams, teeth falling out. This Stilinga, I don't know. Somebody check if Stilinga over there.
Stilinga is real, not dream.
Dream.
No, this is real. Really the teeth falling out.
Weird. Okay. Teeth falling. But it can also be a dream. Because anything which happens in reality comes in a dream also. So, and dreams are supposed to be manifestation of the mind. Marasmus, as if foreign things which are coming from outside cannot be digested. They cause contraction, colic, nausea, constipation or diarrhea. And this is very funny. Most important, which you should remember, better by smoking tobacco. So if one is not smoking, one should start smoking to feel better. Burning stools. Pain in the rectum and burning sensation of the urinary tract. Perspiring from pain, severe pain. Feels as if the epithelial of the esophagus and the stomach was stripped out with burning sensation. Over there also, in Ricinus, they were completely shredded. So affinity to the mouth and mucous membrane, diarrhea with some burning pain is not a very important remedy for diarrhea. And burning. In euphorbium, which is cancer myasm also, there is water. Ulcers and chronic eruption on the hands and fingers. Remedy for elephantiasis. There are very few remedies, we should look at. Extreme itching of the hollows of the knees. The periosteum, the bone periosteum, causing torturing pains of the bones, worse at night. Syphilis. Pain mainly in the long bones, swelling of hip joint, nasal, facial. Rheumatic pain accompanied by vaginal complaint. All the body's boundaries, inner and outer, are painful, burning, covered with ulcers and syphilitic eruption. So here you have the boundaries which allow things to come in and they react with ulcers and syphilis. You saw the other remedies were mostly reacting with diarrhea. 3-4 of the remedies were with skin, but nothing like this, nothing so severe. So you have to, congenital syphilis like kali iodide or mercury, you have to come. Also with aurum, which removes disease of bones of the nose. As Stilinga removes the cutaneous manifestation. Okay. So here also you have black, heavy depression. Heavy means you look at the person and you will also feel sick. Melancholy and severe depression. Gloomy, foreboding. Creates a boundary by being angry with others so that nobody will come near it. And very suspicious, of course, proton also are suspicious of other people and lack of trust on others. Wants to be on his own. He shuts the door. Doesn't want to be disturbed. Always feels something bad will happen. As if something heavy is pressing on the brain, like phosphoric acid. But phosphoric acid is just completely down. Yeah? Doesn't have wretchedness and so on. Such syphilitic. So man suffered horrible bone pains at a secondary stage of syphilis. So you have to DD between euphorbium and stilling. Euphorbium is madam cancer, stilling as syphilis. And you have night aggravation. And that is mainly cancer. But if it's a cancer of the bone, you'll have to differentiate. And he gave, because of the night aggravation and the bone pain and syphilis, he gave stilling. So it had an instantaneous effect, slept well with the pains and non-cancer. The nodes, there are not of nodes which were there, all went, all got better in the heads and legs. And the most important change was this fellow who was the most deplorably downhearted and like a raving derangement. He was miserable, thin-looking object, but he changed into a buoyant, joking, rodent-looking fellow with stilling. I mean, that is really something. To treat syphilis or AIDS in this kind of horrible condition and then get a cut. And that's why Edward Hale has been importantly famous for his stilling. Okay. So we finished 4 remedies. Okay, we have the 5th, where we have 6 cases. What do you all remember about Mancinella? You remember Anita Bajaj shared lovely case and also did Mancinella with you all. But I wanted to know if you wanted me to do it or...
Fear. Madam, fear. Hello?
Yes. Very good, very good. And what is the most important fear?
Fear of going insane.
And fear of the devil. Ghost, devil, Mancinella, maximum. So, and you have sex. You remember that girl who thought, remember that girl, she did a case where the girl was thinking sexual thoughts, young girl, you know, children kind of. And she even imagined the penis on her brother and her father, right? So Mancinella has anxiety now, supernatural thing. Yeah, so something in the dark, but not more than a ghost, even a devil. So waiting to get her and take her away. So Mancinella is very different from all the other remedies. And as if they were under the spell, and as if there is a supernatural element and a black color. So they don't like black. Fear will be there of cockroaches, of aliens, of ghosts, but mostly of devils. They sense supernatural things. See the child, it's seeing the cockroach. It is scared, but it's also very attractive to see what happens. So they're very curious. And all this they can sense. They can sense entities. And they sense weird energies in the surrounding. And this can lead, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I seeing? Fear of insanity. So a lot of superstition and interest in black art. The feeling is that external scary forces will take hold of them and control them while they are helpless, for they are without a boundary to resist them. And they are dependent. So dependent on others, but afraid that others will take control. The masculine principle threatening to cross boundaries and take them over. So all those devils, ghosts, entities, all represent as masculine principle, who's going to come and take them over. The others we saw earlier, rigid, very. Remember that other case also of the boy, which we quoted, that he said, my father wanted me to, I wanted to study, but my father wanted me at the store. And then he got put on. So fear of father, of partner, all the males, and the influence becomes threatening. And because of the men all the time close proximity, fear of homosexuality. So this was Mancinella, which was done by Anita. Fear of being possessed or taken away. Insanity, losing control, girls at puberty, being frightened, strong religious upbringing, afraid to say devil, fear of dark, ghosts, bad crowds, cancer, fear of their own thoughts because they think of sex, fear they will kill their own child like Tia, self-destructive, night in the dark, nightmare, awake screaming like Kali Bones, praying, hoping God will help them, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, dependent on others, depression, superstition, sexual thought, perverse fancy, and cannot put it aside like Lillian Pick, think of evil. And these were the rubrics she took in her case, which all showed Mancinella, which I just thought would be nice for you to revise. Domination, children, and parental control, long history of it. Fright movies after scary, but they still see it. Persecute, happen something will. Moral obliquity, mental derangement, fear sin, that we may also sin. Sad stories affect her profoundly, memory active rage, sexual excitement in young children, compelling thoughts, persistent sexual tormenting doubts. So here are some more cases, okay? So now we can go a little bit slow and understand the cases. I didn't want anything to stop us from finishing, so I rushed through. If you want anything, you can always go back. So this was a 35-year-old woman. So she was raped when she was going home from a friend's house. She was so nervous, so shy, and so, had this feeling that I must have invited it in some way, that she did not even go to the police. So she couldn't do anything about it. She knew the person who attacked her. So this made it many times worse because she had to live with the person. So this happens all the time in family. And so the children of the father, it is normally the father or the neighbor. And then they threaten them, and plus they don't want the father to leave them, so they keep it secret. So she had kept the secret incident secret. Now it was making her ill. She's saying, I'm going mad with the worry of it. Now she says, if I don't ask for help, I will go insane if I don't work it out and get rid of this nightmare. What have I done to deserve this? She could not sleep. She could not work. She could not give rest to her mind. And everything else, she was indifferent. And she didn't know what to. So then the catarrhal stage develops, the throat and the uterus, hot, then feels cold, then stickiness. So she was given Mancinella 200, 1 dose. After the remedy, she went to the police. She also beat up her attack and she felt great. Once you can take some action, then you can get full recovery. So the rubrics are for Mancinella, fear of ghosts and devils. Devil is also somebody who's close to you, a known person. Fear of going insane, fear of crowds, internal battles of sanity. Very nervy, very hurried, cannot sleep at night. Became convinced that they are even themselves. The sexual element, so Mancinella differs. You have seen how we have evolved right from diarrhea and this and that, to ulcers, severe bone pains, and AIDS and syphilis. And now we are coming to sexual derangement. So sexual element always there in Manzanella and very paralyzed. Deborah Collins gives us another case. Very shy, reserved, introverted girl. If you're shy already and you're not outspoken, you have even more difficulty in sharing. Many fears and anxieties which she conceived, fearing that others will think she is mad, is insane. She's afraid of suffocating. When she takes something, she feels she will choke. She's afraid ghosts will come at night and suffocate. She says there's a picture in that there are eyes and those also will take control of it. So she has a tremendous, it's an anal state, tremendous need to control everything. Manzanella helped her come out of these fears. Anybody has a case they want to share? So we have another case by Yakir. So 55-year-old man with epilepsy. Father wanted me to be an army man. You saw that other Croton case where he wanted to be in the store. So everywhere the father dominates, don't allow them to be, what they want. So I wanted to be an artist, but I also wanted to please. He says, in old buildings, I can feel as if there's some energy. In all old buildings, old places where ghosts are there, I can feel their energy. I feel the energy of the entities underground can give me shivers. So they have this connection with the supernatural, strongest of all the UFO-DSC we have seen. This is our 9th remedy. Fear and evil power will take control. So it's always about being taken over by control, by whether it's by food, being penetrated by devils. So after a fright, he got psoriasis, severe disease. Children who have scary vision after watching horror film, yet they must watch horror film. We saw that girl also, no cockroach, there's fear, but she wants to watch. Fear of taking shower. Why? Because somebody will come that time from the water. Religious psychosis, feeling sinful and sexually dirty. Because sin, guilt, right, wrong, good, bad, angel, evil, all these are themes of the 5th whole thought. Guilt. And here all this is due to the tendency to split between good and evil. She has voices in her head. Compulsive sexual thoughts. Thinking of marriage or thinking of the father's sexual organs. We saw in that girl, of course, she thought her father must be having an affair outside because she saw in a movie something. She thought even her father must be. Fear of course, insanity. Sensitive to surroundings, to others, penetrating them, destabilizing. And there was one case of a young religious man. He felt a piercing stare, what like a knife. What like a knife. Just a stare, he feels somebody is going in the knife, and because he is not of sound. So it is so easy to destabilize people, and how to be strong is what we have to teach our children. A very small way to start is probably to teach our children to bear some suffering. Because these days, I find that In fact, I get really quite angry and have to control my anger. Oh, they said we had fever. I took Calpol. Why don't you let the fever be? So we are not letting suffering at all. So how will they stand all this stress in life? Little fever, little headache, little pain. Just let it be, let it develop. Let us see how the body fights with it. And we get proper symptoms. Then we'll to the homeopathy. No, already went to the doctor. He already said this. When did you get fever? 7 o'clock. When do you go to the doctor? 8 o'clock. And there is it. Because there's a lot of fear after COVID. But this is not just now. It's been happening for the last 5-7 years. Physical symptoms are pressing, tight or spasmodic, or penetrating congestive headache, cutting and penetrating. They can't bear tight clothes around the throat, like lachesis, sense of suffocation in the throat, pain in the left hypochondria and a spot as large as a coin. And she has to press. Violent stomach pains, vomiting of undigested food, and spasmodic diarrhea, but not as much as either of our remedies, Propa and Jatropa received. Sudden violent spasm and vesicular eruptions, which are typical of the family, using sticky seed. So this was Manson. One more case. This is a very nice case. A young woman just before her marriage. Okay. So since she got engaged, she has extreme mood because any relationship, now she has to live with this man. So it becomes like it's poisonous or threatening. How will it be? He will be penetrating me, he'll be ordering me. So she had been having lot of moods. She throws things, curses, then regrets. I don't understand. She said, why I did it. Just so much fear about the other. She suffers from pulsating headaches, heartburn, and constipation. She had not taken a shower for days because I feel that in the shower, the devil is talking to me. She fears black. So you have to have some devil, you have to have some fear, some irrational fear. And you have to have being penetrated. Why somebody without marriage? We just say fear of marriage, but what was the fear exactly? So you have to go to these in that depth. Case 5. A woman complaining of fear of death and neck pain. Her mother died of cancer. After mother's death, both the grandmother, father side, mother side, they tried to pull her to their side. And then she survived that. Then later, fear of death appeared 2 weeks after her husband proposed. Again, fear of the other penetrating, what will you do to me? So fear of death was coupled with the fear that she has brain cancer. So you have to give some rationale to your fears. So then you can't say my husband proposed and that's why. So you say maybe I got brain cancer, I have a headache. You can imagine a headache, so many things. So later, when her own daughter reached the age of 4.5, the same age she was when her mother died, she detached from her daughter. She then developed a pressing, nauseating neck pain, inability to move the head, heaviness, dizziness, and restlessness. So since then, I'm very restless. I worry that something's going to happen to me. If I hear a story, somebody went mad, then I worry that will happen to me as well. When I'm alone in the house, I'm afraid I will harm my own daughter. She gets anxious over small matters. hurries to the doctors to be checked. I have many nightmares. I don't want to remember. Fearing I will become insane. Something disconnects. There's something between me and my daughter. I don't want to get too close to her and attached to me. So I detach myself. Now, whether detaching is good, I relieve the girl with also a lot of trauma. The main themes here was split, fear of insanity, penetration when husband proposed, inability to bear the real proximity of another, and the superstitious fear that happiness is the beginning of a disaster. So the UFRBSE feel objection to any hint of penetration or influence by the other, as it will result in the death of the other. You can see here how when the husband proposed or when a daughter reached the same age, she felt as if her boundaries were penetrated and she reacted with a rejecting spasm. Okay, she got fear of death that time, she got the next spasm this time. She got one dose of Mancilla 3x and the anxieties went away as well as the neck pain, contact with her daughter increased. Some more general information. Anything about the cases that the case makes this very clear? Is there anything you want to talk about, ask about? So some more general info is very nice. It's like a little apple which causes death. It is a Spanish name and I don't know how to pronounce it. Mina de la Mute. It's a little apple of death. Spikes of small green flowers followed by fruit which are poisonous, like every part of the tree is poison. It's got white sap and it is, in the tree you have to put up these signs. Do not eat or handle because it can be poison. Amazing picture. Standing beneath the tree, and if it rains, even a small drop of liquid mixed with the rain causes blisters if you are standing below this. So they put up this notice. Do not eat, it's poisonous, most poisonous tree. Even that thing falls on your car, it will make holes. Damage the paint of cars. Burning the tree causes corneal keratoma, even when the fumes come, or keratoconjunctivitis. When ingested, fruit is pleasantly sweet at first. If animals mistakenly eat it, they cause blisters even there. Quite dangerous. But how it makes a homeopathic medicine is also another story, right? So they causes weird behavior even when you consume this. Even animals become insane or people become sexually abused, you feel. Horror, ghosts, spirits, all these are there. Anxiety of supernatural things is dark. Delusion possessed by devil or taken away. Strong fear of unnatural. Fear of ghosts, devils, weird, as if the world is under a spell. Moods are alternating. Fear of insanity. Some children think of ghosts and come up with the fear of insanity. Believe somebody had done black magic. So maybe we should think of it with people come and tell us that one I think had done black magic on. Maybe think of black seminar. Because who does black magic? Who do I never in my life have thought anybody did black magic to me. Did any of all think like that? Somebody done black magic, somebody is here, some entities are there, somebody is going to come and take me. I can't go, alone somewhere in the dark. Imagine things. So maybe we should think of this way. External scary forces are there to take over control. Then, masculine influence becomes threatening. Superstitious at times we develop interest in black occult, the feeling that we are going to be taken away, control them if they are trying to do. Even in dreams, I was always dark ghosts, devils, suffocating, tied and bound by their thoughts. Before BSc itself is tied and bound, right? Mancinella important mental disorder associated with great fear, restlessness, the hysterical child who has been very frightened by horror movies and begins the fear that he will be reposed. Then an obsession with evil or the devil or demonic possession. Man feels possessed by devil, will take him. Parents don't understand what is going on. The children, all this devil and all that. And they won't tell. The devil will take me away. So they talk about black things and maybe not understood. And the miasm and Mancinella is type. So you have Mancinella insanity in kids. And you have to differentiate from anacardium and Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's feels they are the devil. They are the demon themselves. And they are naked. Here it is not physical naked. Here it is syphilitic miasm and they throw the people. Here it is a naked mind. I talk about Manson. In anacardium, you have the split personality. You know, they have devil on one side and angel on one shoulder, angel on the other. So it's split. Alzheimer's, they themselves are devil. So, and they become naked without anything physical naked. Mancinella, you can be mental. Phosphorus, in the imagination, they see a ghost or a devil. So fear, madness, and insanity goes from there. Stramonium is more fear of the dark and of the ghost. Mancinella has more ghosts and devils. So Mancinella, a boy who always heard noises in bed because it's dark and there's nobody there and you heard noises because the devil comes. Shy with fear of the dark. Child with psoriasis began since developing a fear of death. The girl whose problem began with the idea that something was wrong with her. Girls fear during menses, compulsive thoughts of suicide and self-mutilation. We made a very colorful thank you to take you away from all the devils and the black occult, okay? So we've given you a nice pink and white. Thank you. Yeah. So my idea today mainly was to see that you all can differentiate between the, is there anything you want to ask? Can I stop the sharing? Yeah. So I wanted mainly to differentiate between these three remedies, very important because all belong to the same family. So we have differentiated not only these three, but few other remedies also, right? So Proton, Jatropa, and Lucinus, we have differentiated well. Somebody, Rama Dinavai, you want to tell us the three differences?
Of Mancinella and all? Mancinella?
No.
Euphorbina? Three
No.
differences?
Between the three diarrhea remedies.
Three diarrhea remedies. Okay, okay. Okay. So just now we spoke of, we were speaking about the restless one thing.
Yeah.
Which has the typical sound of the diarrhea and all were being mentioned. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how you differentiated from protontic. One of the important remedy which generally we'll think of in cholera and all, where there is simultaneous vomitings and loose motions.
Yeah.
And one more remedy is Jatropa, yeah. Which usually, again, this is mostly we'll think of in case of children. Though Croton-tick is also, but mostly Jatropha is more indicated in children.
But
Yeah, with the typical symptoms of diarrhea. And yeah.
so Jatropha had the book, okay? Not the
Okay.
ricin.
Not richness. Okay.
Jatropha had the book. Go into the, you must remember the pot which goes inside. So Jatropha has the burning pain and the book, and it had leg spasm.
Spasms.
It has
Yeah,
colic.
that's very important. Yeah.
And in
And of course,
ricinus, you have the hoarseness and you have diarrhea, which will not stop. Diarrhea doesn't stop with so many remedies. And then ricinus has that mind torn between God's desire to preach and his to flee. It's also important as a milk producer.
yeah, which increases the secretion of the milk. Yes.
So in
And
man,
yeah.
Yeah.
And also amenorrhea, if other remedies doesn't work out. I mean,
correct.
to bring the menstrual period.
So,
Yeah.
Very important.
This, I think, yeah, this we have to keep it, because many times what happens, no, the other conventional medicines, if they are not helping, this one thing, richness, we can keep it. Basically, it could be the natural secretions can be helped out. I mean, that's what I understood. Like even when it increases the milk secretion, and also in that sense, also we can remember richness. Yeah.
In if you have milk, lactation in young girls and all that.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So
then you have Mancinella for devils, ghosts, sexual.
Yeah, yeah. This is more of into the psychiatric remedy.
And syphilis and AIDS of Stilinga. In the black.
Yeah, Stilinga is mostly in severe syphilitic cases where AIDS and all were being mentioned. No?
Correct.
Where the intense pains of bones and all are there. Yeah.
And you have euphorbium, where you have the cancer pains. So
euphorbium, like Sikalkar, you can think of in malignant conditions as well as in the I mean severe what you call
bone pains,
when
burning pains,
severe burning pains like arsenic. Yeah. Yes. Sikalkar, the characteristic feature is being relieved by cold applications, cold water applications. So,
and euphorbium has this want to be quiet and shut the door. It's very sensitive people stuck in the mind. Also important for vaginismus.
Mainly severe. That part, I think euphorbium, skin cancers we were discussing last time. Yeah, carcinoma, skin. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So a lot of weakness and debility. So because of the weakness, they have erection, causeless erection. And the euphorbium is not very much marked for diarrhea, only thin stools. We have croton, which is the Jamalgota, which accused madam, gurgling. And the key is that there is
like we can remember it is the cholera-like symptoms.
That cholera is Jatropha more.
Jatropha.
Yeah.
Croton-tick is not for cholera-like symptoms. Okay. No. Jatropha is more towards that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And this has the tap, and the Jatropha has the torrent.
Yeah, Jatropha is like a torrent. This is like a
okay. Then like, how you can excuse me? How you can differentiate Croton-tick and Jatropha and Viratrum album?
So Viratrum, we said it is not like cholera. The stools are diarrheic, but not like cholera rice water stools. Not rice water stools.
I think Viratrum album, one more thing is that sudden collapse will be seen where the cold perspiration on the forehead is very prominent.
Yes, true.
And
correct, Viratrum.
Yeah, but it is sudden also collapse. There in that,
it's being in the monocot, of course. But anyway, acute we can't think of monocot or dicot, whatever. But the Viratrum indication is cold perspiration on the forehead and with sudden collapse and sudden weakness.
And diarrhea. And
Diarrhea.
diarrhea with nothing very specific about not rice water or cholera like us.
But proton-tick is rice water stools. No.
Oh, no, Croton doesn't say rice water. You only say tap, yellow.
Tap,
yellow.
it's being, okay.
And there's fear of diarrhea. Whereas in that you have fear of drinking. In listen, you have fear of drinking water, drinking anything. And Croton is very selfish, thinks of himself. Whereas you saw in Merck, you saw Perinus, that they are thinking of welfare of other. Then of course, Hura is again quite, Hira we know very well, despised, stuck, but they have anxiety about family. In Merck, you have this amenorrhea also here, first rank. And there is band on the forehead, very caring people. For animal, and lot of dryness, sugar won't melt.
So if we can say Euphorbacea family, one-liner, characteristic of all the medication.
That's it. Dominant father, suppression, penetration, right, wrong, sin, guilt, sexual abuse, skin.
Basically, masculine element is being dominated. Masculine, yeah.
All right. And then dryness also there, no?
Dryness also there, but it is more dry, maximum dry in Merck perennials.
Okay.
And one more, if you say very one line means very toxic symptoms are all seen in almost all the remedies. Toxic and intense symptoms are seen, Euphorbacea. Because most of the alkaloids point of view also, all the things are very toxic in nature, basically.
Very toxic. Many things which you eat, you can get poison, like we just now said about that you can't eat the plant, you may get very toxic. And all these plants also, Croton also, or we took, I told you all this details about that fellow who took the 17 seeds, when he collapsed. Of castor bean.
Thank you, Dr. Rama, and thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else, anything? Rama, Hariharan, anything to share? Where is Nirupama? Ravin Kumar ji, are you sharing anything? Okay, everybody's quiet today. I think it will overwhelming. So we will we finish Euphorbacea. We've done 9 remedies quite in detail. We've done differentiation also, and we have to start the next family. Before that, before we start the next family, which is actually a very, very good family, I thought we should do revision. If you all want, we'll do revision. If you all want, we can start the next one. What do you all want? Because next family is very nice. It is Sapindales. So we have few families left, Sapindales mainly, Rhamnalis, and Santinales, then Appiales. So 5-6 families are left. Anything, anybody want to say anything? Yeah. Okay, so we did a marathon session with 130 odd slides. And we have to thank Fatima for all those good, very nice pictures. So we were at, we finished 143 slides, sorry, not 130. Last I saw was 150. With the pictures, it became even more. Yeah. So that is good. We hope that we have all, Ashokji, I hope you have also benefited.
Dr. Vishpala, thank you very much. Really, today's session was interesting, especially because of these 3 remedies about diarrhea, and certainly the last remedy, Manchinella, is very particular and to be studied more to understand.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mm.
All these programs are going very well. I must say thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, then, thank you so much. Yeah. I must also thank you for making me work so hard for it. So nice.
The other feature is all these remedies, no, they have intense skin affections. Say in Manzanella
Yes.
also, Proton
Yes.
also, which we shouldn't miss.
It has what addiction?
Intense
Skin-
skin affections.
skin infection.
Skin
Skin.
affections.
Yes.
Yeah,
Skin.
yeah.
Skin, all the boundaries, of course. Skin.
Boundaries are, yeah, hidebound sensation,
Yeah.
tensive feeling in the, that associated with this skin thing is very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Vishpala, I need
Hello,
to
madam.
add sorry.
Bolo, Praveen.
I wanted to add one thing. I've been listening.
Hmm.
My small experience with Stilingia.
Yeah, tell us.
It is one of the best medicines for pain in the shin of the tibia.
Yeah.
It has got that periosteal rheumatism, no? And it is one of the best, nothing to beat it. And in one case of hypothyroidism, it started with the presentation of pain in the shin of the tibia. And I have given Stilingia, it came down, but later it was detected to be hypothyroid and then treated differently. That
But
is what I wanted to add. I learned a lot. There are 2 drugs which I have not experienced. I have not given to any patient.
which ones?
No, Mancinella 1 and that Mercurialis that I have not given.
Merck Perinus, yeah.
I have not given that.
Even I have not given. It seems a very nice drug to be used. Yeah. So,
Vegetable mercury.
vegetable mercury.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And which potency you used it in, Praveen Kumarji? It's gone. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Preeti, you can stop recording. Thank you very much. Bye. See you on next Thursday. You haven't told me you want revision or you want the next one, Sapendales. You have to revise 68 remedies, going to be just one-liners. Huh?
Ma'am, it's written revision in the chat.
Okay. I can't see. Where? Okay, there also. Okay, thank you. Revision, please. Okay, Rama. Thank you. Revision, okay, lot of people. Okay. Okay, too many people. Even new messages I didn't see. Okay, then we are done. And tell me to go slowly. Today I was too pressured by 143 slides. I said, God, how can I finish in 2 hours? Yeah. Okay, then bye.